So I'm saying to myself, maybe this doesn't work anymore, that the goals and aspirations are just different, and that it's all about how much money can I make as a college player. You see, you used to have to work hard for playing time and money, but now that comes first. But what's happening is in college football, these kids are no longer looking at the bigger picture. And it's sad, it really is. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, hope all of you are having a great Thursday. If not, hope this video can make it a little bit better. And man, oh man, we got some stuff to talk about. As most of you know, in this offseason, especially the past couple of weeks, we've been making a ton of our signature story videos that we always do in the offseason. And for those of you that don't know, that is how this channel started up, off of those story videos. Been doing them for 5-6+ years now. And it seems like you guys have really enjoyed them. I also think they're super interesting myself to make, so it's been a win-win. It's been great. If you're sitting here going, Matt, what in the crap are you talking about? What story videos? Well, just go check out some of the previous videos on the channel and you'll see what I'm referring to. I say all that to say this. Throughout the offseason, we don't make a ton of college football news videos, and if you've been watching the channel for a while now, you've probably picked up on it. And there's not a complicated reason behind it. It's relatively simple. There's nothing to talk about. There's nothing going on. I don't just make videos to make videos. I want them to be valuable. I want them to be worth watching. And I always ask myself the same question before I record a video. Would I watch this? Would I click on this? If the answer to that question is yes, we make it. If no, well, we don't make it. I don't try to make something out of nothing. I let things come naturally. And unfortunately, in the off season, naturally, we don't have a lot to talk about. But guess what? Today, we do, and it involves no other than the man, the myth, the legend himself, Nick Saban. Within the past 24 hours, this has been the most highly requested video on the channel, and it hasn't even been close. A lot of you guys have been tagging this to me left and right on Twitter. Shout out to you guys, because I like when y'all tag me and stuff. It lets me know you want me to talk about a certain situation and topic. And we're just going to get straight into it. We're not doing no intro, none of that. This is the one and only topic we're talking about. I want to make this a short, simple, and sweet video. As you can see right here, this was trending all over Twitter, got over 3.5 million views. Nick Saban says the way Alabama players acted after losing to Michigan in the CFP certainly contributed to his retirement. Sports Illustrated's headline on Twitter even states, Nick Saban says lack of class, quote unquote, in Alabama's handling of Michigan loss contributed to retirement. And I'm not going to lie to you guys, when I first saw these quotes from Nick Saban going around Twitter, I thought they were fake. But come to find out, no, not fake, and they're 100% true. Here's what Nick Saban said, quote unquote, I was really disappointed in the way the players acted after the game. You got to win with class, you got to lose with class. Continuing along, and then showing your, we'll say, butt, and being frustrated and throwing helmets and doing that stuff. That was the part that was shocking to me, because I didn't hear anything about Alabama players after the game throwing their helmets and pretty much, I guess you'd say, throwing a fit. And I understand the whole losing with class thing. Nobody likes a sore loser, but I don't mind players throwing their helmets after losing, essentially, the national championship game. Because we all knew whoever won the Alabama-Michigan game, that was a championship game. But either way, if you don't want to say it was a championship game, fine. You lost a chance to go to the championship. It was the last game of the season. And I'd actually be more concerned as a head coach if my players weren't somewhat throwing a fit. Because when guys are throwing their helmets and acting out, like Nick Saban's saying, that means they care. And there's a very fine line here when we're left in the dark, because we don't know the extent to the throwing their helmets and showing frustration in the locker room. Like, are we talking about, what to say, theoretically speaking, Jalen Milroe tossed it lightly against the floor and said, dang man, this sucks? Or did he sling it across the locker room and say, F this, F that, and just start saying all types of crazy stuff? You see what I'm saying? It's different. And if you have Twitter, you know this. They never show you the entire quote. So here's what Nick Saban actually said word for word. I want to be clear that wasn't the reason, but some of those events certainly contributed, referring to how the players acted after the game. I was really disappointed in the way that the players acted after the game. You got to win with class and you got to lose with class. We had our opportunities to win the game and we didn't do it, and then showing your butt and being frustrated and throwing helmets and doing that stuff, that's not who we are and what we promoted in our program. But here's where things really, and I mean really, started to get interesting. So Saban says when the team returned back to Tuscaloosa, this is when it became more apparent to him that his message wasn't resonating like it once did. Quote unquote, I thought we could have a heck of a team next year, and then maybe 70 or 80% of the players you talk to, all they want to know is two things. What assurances do I have that I'm going to play because they're thinking about transferring, and how much are you going to pay me? Our program here was always built on how much value can we create for your future and your personal development, academic success in graduating, and developing an NFL career on the field. Continuing along, so I'm saying to myself, maybe this doesn't work anymore, that the goals and aspirations are just different, and that it's all about how much money can I make as a college player. I'm not saying that's bad. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying that's never been what we're all about, and it's not why we've had the success through the years. Woo! Man, oh man. What do y'all think about that? What I just showed you, those are the entire quotes, not a couple sentences like they post on Twitter. That's all you need to see, all you need to know. Obviously, this has sparked up a pretty big debate on Twitter as well. Someone quote tweeted all this and said, man, Nick Saban is really letting it fly in retirement, and check out this reply. Letting it fly? Dude, this stuff is so obvious. He was being polite. We're just at the beginning of greed destroying college sports. It'll be interesting to watch revolutionaries like Jay Billis go down in flames standing in a cash cage grasping for more money. Before we go any farther, let me give you my 2 cents on what Nick Saban said and how I feel about everything. Well, I'll start off by saying this. Here's my question to all of you watching this video. Is he wrong? And I'll answer the question for you. No, he's not wrong, because the way he built up this Alabama football program, you can't do that anymore. And not just building the program, I'll go a step farther with this. The way he is coached, you can't coach that way anymore. And I said this years ago. I remember talking about it when the news came out that NIL is coming to college football and college sports. Yes, I like it. I'm in favor for the players getting paid, but with the good, you're also going to get the bad. And there's going to be a lot of bad that comes along with the NIL. And depending on the situation and player, here's where things have really changed drastically in the sport of college football. 5, 10, 15, 20 years ago, you know who had all the power? The coaches. Now it's flipped. You start paying people, you start paying these college kids, they have the power. I want y'all to really think about this. We'll just say 10 plus years ago. So in 2013, 14, 15, pick any year, when Nick Saban was building up this Alabama football brand, winning all these championships, all the 5-star recruits, they wanted to go to Alabama. And when Nick Saban walked into all these 5-star recruits' houses, he is the one who possessed all the power. Well, fast forward time into 2024, when Nick Saban goes into a 5-star recruit's house, they've already had multiple. I'm talking about not even multiple. We're talking 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 plus schools offering millions of dollars. And money is one of the most important things in this life. Now that 5-star recruit and his family, they want to go to the school that's going to offer the most money and give them the best shot to get to the NFL. And that's just one of the many examples I could give you. But let's go to the point where Nick Saban was talking about the players returning, wanting assurances like playing time and how much are you going to pay me. So now let's say, theoretically speaking, Nick Saban somehow, some way, he wins over the 5-star recruit from Miami and Texas and Ohio State who's trying to pay him $5 million. Well, in previous years, when you had a 5-star recruit, you didn't feel pressured to play him right away because you knew he wasn't going to transfer anywhere because he doesn't want to sit down a season. Well, now when you have that 5-star recruit who is the top shot, the head honcho, whatever you want to call him, there is some pressure to give him some meaningful playing time because you want him to be happy and stay at your school. We're now in an era where these head coaches like Kirby Smart, now Kalen DeBoer, you have to make every single player happy because if you don't, they're going to up and leave. And let me throw this out there, I don't blame the players. Going to this part, though, where Nick Saban says the goals and aspirations are just different and that it's all about how much money can I make as a college player. I've always stated this since NILs came out as well. If you want long-term money and wealth and you're serious about it, you go to Alabama. I've had 8 to 9 recruits tell me personally that Miami has offered them over $1 million. And yeah, that's all fine and dandy, but what's $1 million, $2 million compared to being a first-round draft pick? Chump change. But what's happening is in college football, these kids are no longer looking at the bigger picture. And it's sad, it really is. They're looking at how I can get rich tomorrow, who's going to pay me the most money tomorrow, and where am I going to play the most tomorrow. There's no more of this, all right, I'm going to go to Alabama, work my butt off for a couple of years, earn a starting spot, then go to the NFL and make millions of dollars. That long-term plan I just laid out for you, that is the last thought of any of these 4- and 5-star recruits. And this is even worse when you think about it. 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago, college football players, their first thought when it came to the sport wasn't, oh, how much money can I get paid and where am I going to play tomorrow? It was, okay, how hard do I need to work to obtain that money potentially in the NFL, and how hard do I need to work to be a starter one day? But now it's reversed. Number 1 is, I need my money up front. Number 2 is, I need guaranteed playing time. And then number 3 is I'll start working hard. You see, you used to have to work hard for playing time and money, but now that comes first. And it's going to be this way moving forward because it all stems from the players having all the power. And when the players have the power, it's hard to control them. And I don't think Nick Saban sounds like some old dude who's like, get off my lawn, man, these kids, they don't respect people anymore. I don't think he sounds like that whatsoever. He's just stating the truth. And I do want to emphasize this if I haven't made it clear already. I don't blame the players, not even to the slightest of bits. Although I will throw in there, I don't think it's good for a lot of these players to be getting millions of dollars up front because it's going to mess up their mindset. Here's the last thing I'm going to say and we'll end it off here. You can't run a program in college football the way Nick Saban ran Alabama the past 15 years anymore. Can't do it. And I think that's why he left. I don't think he was scared of the challenge whatsoever. Nick Saban scared of a challenge? Are you kidding me? Get out of here with that. That wasn't the case whatsoever. It was multiple different things that led up to this. And also, he's getting old. He needs to enjoy his retirement. I could go on and on. We'll end it off there. Let me know your thoughts down below. But, Roman.